I'm live. This is the first time I've ever gone live from this particular laptop, so I wanted to do it. But, you know, I'm probably going to follow this up with a video where I go into detail about this whole stuff with R. Kelly. The Surviving R. Kelly documentary has come out recently, and I made the mistake of binging the whole thing of all the about 6 hours of it. Don't binge it. Please don't binge Surviving R. Kelly. It's going to be too much for you. But there was a point that was made by this guy, Dr. Boyce Watkins, on his channel. At about the 22-minute mark, I would normally just, sample a little bit of the video and put it here in the fair use, but I got a fair use dispute going right now. And I don't feel like dealing with it because people know stuff's fair use. It's funny how you don't mind taking bits and pieces from, people's culture and using them, but if somebody actually does something that's fair use with one of your products, you want to get your panties in a bunch, Vlad TV. But anyway, so at the 22-minute mark of Dr. Boyce Watkins' video, where he's saying what people aren't saying about surviving R. Kelly, he's talking about toxic masculinity. Now, how we live in a society where people demonize masculinity on the one hand, or say that there's toxic masculinity, but yet a lot of these people that you call toxic are the very same types of men in particular, but also women too. That's why I'm saying martial arts makes mighty individuals, not just mighty men. These are the same type of people that will protect you from predators. Protect you from predators like R. Kelly, that would beat down someone if they even looked at your underage daughter wrong. See that's the point we're getting to in society, and that's one thing you hear me talk about this a lot in my videos because this is ever since I've been a teenager, this has annoyed me to no end. You got a wave in our society that says that all violence is bad all the time, no matter what happens, no matter what the context. If you get physical with someone, it's absolutely, positively bad if you're a civilian. Of course, if you get physical with someone and you happen to be a law enforcement officer or security personnel, it's always automatically good, no matter what the circumstances. Context has been ruined, context has been destroyed to the point where you're going to call people, say people are toxically masculine, and then you won't hire people who are very masculine. Or if you do hire people who are very masculine, you're always giving them the side eye, you're always shuddering around them, acting like you're scared of them. Yeah, I got a lot of that when I was younger. And you're making it to the point where a lot of strong men or warrior women are just going to get tired of it and just not be around you. That is if you get enough people who are super fearful in HR departments, they're just not going to hire people who look even remotely threatening. So what do you think happens to your workplace when there are people who are there's nobody around there who looks like they would beat the tar out of someone who decide to step over lines? I guess you think that security is going to protect you, but not every work environment has security. If it were up to me, if I ruled the world, if I could wave a magic wand, every single classroom would have at least one security person there, even if he or she was super bored and they just sat there because it's like these are just kids that aren't doing anything. Oh, I wish I was on. He spends most of his time doing like this, or she spends most of her time doing like this on their phone because nothing ever really pops off. That's how important I think it is for citizens of the United States to be protected. But we know that's not going to happen. But that's what I would have. So what do you think happens when there's nobody around with a warrior ethic? The people who like to take advantage of people who don't have a warrior ethic start crawling out the woodwork. That's why that young lady got attacked at McDonald's. She got attacked because it didn't look like there was anybody in there who would stop someone who would grab a young woman over the counter and try to assault her over a straw. So you can blame the guys who were there all you want and go, why didn't they protect that woman? And people who go take it on a race angle, why didn't those black guys protect that black woman? But the type that you know for sure would do something, you don't have them around. So how can they protect you? How can we protect you? I firmly believe, even though I have no proof of this, I firmly believe that I stopped a lot of crimes when I took the subway just because I was there. Because I'm telling you, I would see people who would get ready to move, look up, and then they look in my direction. If I just looked in their direction, they would sit down. I would get a feeling from them, from my instinct and intuition, that they were about to do something, but they seemed like they were scared of me. There was even a guy who was brandishing a knife on the subway, right? And he was making everybody uncomfortable. He saw me and I looked at him. I didn't even notice the knife because I was out with my wife and I was thinking about the show that we were going to. He sat down, then I saw the knife. But I didn't try to push more with my vibe or pull back. I just remained neutral and just looked in his direction and looked around his direction. I just looked in his direction every once in a while. And then he's gonna have the knife, not brandish it so much, but just act like he's cleaning his fingernails with the knife. But then he would look at me, though, act like, and he still had it. And he eventually got off the train. I didn't show any fear, but I also didn't show any aggression. So I gave him what Mark Beck Young calls in his writings a face-saving exit, and he took it. Now, again, see, I know a lot of you don't believe this stuff. You don't believe me, or you think just because of his size, that's why he could do that. It's not just because of my size. It is confidence I picked up from training in martial arts. And that's why more of us need to train in martial arts. Because I can tell you from when I didn't have that much experience in it. And some of the bullies would tell me, I was like, why are they picking on me if they're bigger than me? Come like, oh, you think because you big, but you sorry. You big, but you sorry. Meaning, oh, well, you may be a large fellow, but I'm not intimidated by you because there's nothing about you that makes me feel as though that you would be a threat to me. Okay? And then they'd guess wrong, and then I'd have to hurt them. And then I would be the bad person because someone threatens me, I respond to the threat. Someone actually physically attacks me, I defend myself. I'm bad for doing so. Because you must use your words. You must resolve everything with your words. Now, don't get it twisted. Yes, you should use your words. Absolutely, positively. I want you to use your words. If you can diffuse things with words, do it. If you can diffuse things with actions, do it. If you can diffuse things, sometimes this is one thing I'm really getting into. Sometimes you can shut stuff down with no reaction. You act like what's going on doesn't even faze you. That freaks a lot of people out and it makes a lot of snakes crawl back in their holes. But then again, you typically don't have the confidence to not react if you know that you don't have the competence to handle something if you have to react. So you see, being able to handle violence ultimately makes you non-violent because you're not afraid of what would happen if it goes there. Because you know you can handle stuff if it goes there, you are freed up to not take it there. But if you're at the point where you are afraid, you're so afraid, please don't let this escalate, then the wicked feed on your fear and then emboldens like, he or she's afraid it's what's going to happen if I, yeah. And that gives them confidence. this one thing I tell my son all the time when he says, well, why didn't they do this? I can't believe people put up a van or whatever. Not everybody's a fighter. Not everybody is a warrior. Not everybody is a type to fight back. I really, as much as I would love for everyone to be that way, I know everyone is not. And we really realistically can't expect everyone to be that way. I can't even be that way 24/7 because, hey, I could be sick. I could be in a lot of pain or something. So not everyone can or should we expect them to. Not everybody, they may not even be born with the physical abilities to be able to do so. That's fine. Hey, I can't perform brain surgery. I wish I was that smart, but I'm not. Not everyone can do everything. But we have got to stop pushing aside people who can protect you and don't necessarily need to be in uniform to do it. Because people like that help keep everybody safe. They keep the predators away. Think of it like this. See, I've seen people use this analogy. They say they're wolves, those are the predators. They're sheep, those are the regular people. And then there's sheepdogs, the people who protect the flock. And they say, be a sheepdog, be a sheepdog. I disagree with that metaphor because I think there's another animal needs to be in there. Yes, they're sheepdogs, but to me, sheepdogs are the cops. Those are the authorized protectors of the flock. There are members of the flock. We are the rams. We have horns. We're still sheep. Okay? But if you mess with us, we will forehead you and gouge your eyes out. I'm not just saying that because I got a big head. But we will forehead you and we will gouge your eyes out. But this is the thing. We're going to leave it to the sheepdog, though. If the sheepdog got it, the sheepdog's got it. That's what the sheepdog's there for. And 9 times out of 10, we're going to eat our grass. We're going to eat our grass and walk with the rest of the flock. But if you coming up in the flock and you trying to hurt one of us or somebody in the flock, you're going to get gouged. And you're going to get gouged so bad, you're going to wish the sheepdog got a hold of you. Now, we don't even go around looking. I recommend that we do not go around looking for stuff to happen. We don't go around looking for that because really, and especially with things like the way this country just totally drops the ball on handling mental health, the opioid epidemic, people who are just having a bad day because of stress. There are going to be times when you're going to have to either diffuse situations or you have to handle something if it gets physical. So don't worry about looking for it. Unfortunately, it's coming. But we have got to stop demonizing and being afraid of men in particular who can protect you from the predators, but anyone who can protect you from the predators just because they're not an authorized sheepdog. We have got to stop doing that because all you're doing is you're serving up all of society to be vulnerable to people who have ill intent. And this is the thing. Sometimes some of the most dangerous people in the world look completely harmless. They don't look scary. You're not basing your fear on looking in their eyes and seeing 1,000-yard stare. You're basing your fear on how tall they are, how muscular they are, the color of their skin. They're wearing blue jeans. You're basing it on something superficial instead of really trying to see, oh my goodness, this person gives me the creeps. That's what you're doing. You're being prejudiced instead of being intuitive. And you're basically, if we don't get things back in balance, you're going to ruin it. And then the only people that are going to survive is just going to be a whole bunch of people with horns all over the place. We're going to be the only ones around. And what kind of a flock is that? I don't like a flock like that either. Like I was saying when I was talking to my wife today about the different types of movies, everyone cannot be for everything, but this should be something for everyone. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts. Thank you for watching this time. Give me your time to watch this. Too bad nobody caught this live stream, but hopefully you'll catch the broadcast. And as always, peace.